All right, so the legendary producer, Kato the producer, has this to say about the music industry, and I agree. Let's check it out.
The old industry is dead. Let me put y'all on some very, very real time music industry game right now, okay? The old music industry is dead. And how I know this is because a lot of the tech platforms and apps that have been reaching out to me lately all have one thing in common. Every single one of them are specifically created for the purpose of strengthening your relationship with your community and your audience. It's no longer about whoever is trying to reach the most amount of people or who's the most popular or who's doing the biggest numbers. It's all about your specific niche. And all of these platforms and apps and companies see the writing on the wall. They know what's coming. And so how does that affect artists, musicians, producers, anyone who's building your community online right now? That means that you need to have a more tailored approach to your content, your art, your music, etc. You need to have a higher intelligence of like who your audience is, who you're trying to reach, who you're tailoring your message for, and how you're reaching them. Because if you're just throwing stuff out there in hopes of reaching someone that doesn't already follow you, that isn't familiar with you, you're probably approaching it with the wrong strategy. Right now, more than ever before in the history of the music industry, if you're not able to explain to someone as a musician or as a creator what your music looks like and feels like in one sentence in a very, very clear way that they can understand, then you need to take some serious, serious time to think about what that answer looks like.
I don't even know what else I can really say behind that, but I will say this. The main thing is you got to learn how to promote. And it all comes down to how you promote your stuff and not just throwing stuff out there and hoping that it just sticks. It's not going to be like that. That wave is over with, okay? And the music industry knows that it's over with too. That's why they're taking all these different measures to try to corner the market with everything, including AI, including all of that stuff, okay? So what basically I would say for anybody new right now is whoever your music caters to. So like if you're a type of person that you think your music may cater to maybe a Rihanna audience or whatever like that, what you need to do is you need to find out where Rihanna is popular at. And what you need to do is you need to find the demographic of where it's popular at. You need to find out the ages that these people listen to her songs. You need to find out the countries. And what you need to do is you need to try to channel that audience in as much as possible. Now, we know she has a big following in the States. We know she has a big following in the Caribbean. We know she has a big following even outside the United States. But what you want to do is you want to focus on that audience and you want to try to drive as many of her fans over to you. Because right now, nobody's really creating new fans. There are, people being born every single day, but the people who listen to music, nobody's creating new fans. You pretty much have to steal or borrow fans from somebody else. That's just basically how this thing goes. If you really look at it, that's how it is. So what you have to do is you have to do more centered marketing when it comes to that, and you're going to have to spend a little bit of money. That's what the record labels do. They spend money. And if you don't have money to spend, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go to places where like-minded people that like your music are going to be at, and you might have to do some hand-to-hand combat. So there's ways of getting around it. There's more ways to skin a cat when you want to do this. So what you have to do is you have to do a more centered marketing. And then once you do that, you want to start running ads and doing certain things. And I'm going to tell you right now, $75, $100 will go a long way if you do it the right way. A lot of times when I've ever done any ads on music, I would do $75 to $100, and I'll do it for like a week and a half so I can just get people to see the music. And then I would go from there and see what the metrics are. And then I could say, well, let me go and switch up and let me do another 7,500 this way. Or if it's going good, I would double down and say, okay, let me do 150 this time. And then let me go ahead and just keep targeting this particular audience in this particular place. And it's worked out for me because pretty much what you spend in it, if you spend it the right way, especially like doing Google ads and stuff like that, you pretty much get your money back. Now, it's not, you might not get the whole 75 back, but a lot of times you kind of get your money back. you know what I'm saying, from views and stuff like that, especially with YouTube and stuff like that. If you do it the right way, you get your money back. And if you do it the really good way, then you'll get your money back plus a little bit more. And then you can just keep reinvesting. The problem is a lot of people do not reinvest in themselves. That's the main thing. You got to reinvest in yourself. So if you get the money, it's not about you taking the money and spending it on something else. You got to take the money and the extras that you make, and you got to go ahead and you got to keep seeding into yourself until that tree grows. And if you don't have the money to do it, like I said, try to go to different places, different festivals or whatever you want to do. Meet people. If they're coming out to festivals and they're saying, hey, you know, I just came back from the Rihanna show or whatever. You can meet people in the parking lot like, hey, I got some really dope music. Would you mind checking it out? Here's a link to my music, da-da-da-da. And you can run up to 100, 200 people doing that if you really want to do this. Now, if this is just a hobby and just making music, this ain't for you. But if you're somebody who really wants to be successful, this is the way that you're going to have to do it. You got to go to extreme measures sometimes. I know some people are not used to doing that, but you got to really put yourself out there to really make it if this is what you really want to do. And this is not just for artists, it's for producers as well. And it's for like writers and people like that. Like say, for instance, you want to go into certain studios or whatever, you got to find certain artists that agree with the type of stuff that you make so you can be a good mesh with that artist as well. But so for right now, if you're somebody who are artist and you really want to try to get to that point, you're going to have to invest in yourself, and you're going to have to do it in a more centered way around finding the audience that aligns with you, and you're going to have to tell your story. Not just in music, people got to know who you are outside of music as well. They got to see what you do, how you work in the studio. Do you like plants? Do you have a dog? Where's your favorite places to get your coffee and lattes and all that stuff from? Where's your favorite place to kind of meditate and chill out? Where do you like to go to have fun? What do you do during your off time? Do you have a job? All this stuff matters. And that's why it's called social media right now, because it's not necessarily the record business right now. It's the social media business right now. And it's the data business right now, which we will talk about that very soon. So at the end of the day, people want to see the data on you. And the more data that you have on yourself, the more people will kind of dig into you and try to find out more data about you. And that will lead to people actually becoming fans of who you are. So yeah, the music industry is, the old model is dead. It's over with, okay? And right now, you're going to have to do some things to push yourself out there. And there's other ways of doing it as well, but I'm just talking about the ways that has helped me out and helped out a few of the artists that I have right now. They're not completely like superstars or whatever, but they've gotten to a point to where they kind of see like, oh, okay, Bolo, I see what's going on. I see how this kind of works. Let's do it like this. And we're taking a slow route. We might release a song every 2 or 3 months so we can really kind of maximize and see what's kind of happening. And then from there, once we can see what the target audience and everything is doing, we're going to act more aggressively from that point. So yeah, get out here, take some chances, and definitely invest in yourself, but be more focused on who you're trying to target.